Someone asked me a couple of months ago, what is my most proudest moment of my life? And honestly, I didn't have an answer until we got this house. My mom came in, she prayed, and she hugged me crying. That is the first time in my life I've ever felt accomplished. And in that moment, I was like, wow, every single thing I went through in the past 10 years, the highs, the lows, the bad, every single thing is so worth it. And I would go through it a million times worse just for that 20-second moment again that I had with her. So here's a journal from 2012. Basically, when I started my journey in the world of trying to be successful. And every year before the year starts, I set out goals. And this is an 18-year-old kid that has no idea how he's gonna make money, what he's gonna do. But some of my top goals in this journal all revolved around people in my life. One of them being, I want to retire my parents. Second being, I want to buy my parents their dream home in this particular area. And this goes all the way back to 2012, an 18-year-old kid that once again had no idea what he was going to do to make it in this world. And all I knew that I could do is be relentless, have the drive, and push towards the goals that I have every single year. To see something that I've written down when I was 18 years old and to follow through with it 10 years later, being 28 now, is absolutely unbelievable. It's just insane to me, right? It all goes back to day one. So my parents are ultimately from Pakistan. I'm also from Pakistan, of course. That's where I was born. And you know, the part of Pakistan that my parents grew up in is dirt poor. Like, my parents did not grow up super rich, super lavish. And you know, they have worked extremely hard to get to a point to come to America, right? And coming to America is not an easy thing, especially for people that are immigrants. And coming to a country, especially, you know, with very little to no money, no friends, leaving everything behind, is not easy. It's very, very, very mentally draining. And especially when you're doing all of that for the betterment of your kids, so your kids have a better future. So the fact that my parents did that, you know, ever since I was a little kid, it stuck with me. Because I've realized the opportunity that I have being in a first world country. I've realized the sacrifices that both my parents made of making sure that, hey, we'll give everything up so our kids can essentially have a better life. That was my main driving force. That's why every single thing in my journal has been around, what can I do to, A, make sure I don't make my parents upset, I make them proud, and I make sure that their essential investment, if you want to call it, or their sacrifices, all paid off. And the way it gets paid off is by how their kids take it up a notch. So my biggest driving factor that's always pushed me and made me follow through with this was them. That was the force of like, well, I need to be better. I need to get to a point where they are proud of me. They are happy of all the sacrifices they made, and everything that they did do is worth it. Getting this home, it's not just about buying a house. It's not just about buying something. It's the story behind it. It's the struggles and everything that they went through, where they came from. The struggles I have went through in the past 10 years to get to a point to be able to put my parents in essentially a $4 million house. That is why this, to me, for that 5 minutes where I taken it in, I was like, wow. every single part of my life, the highs, the lows, everything, you know, it makes it worth it, especially in this moment. And I would go through it a million times more just to have those moments, just to have that 5-minute moment again, because of how strong and powerful that was.
So I'm currently in bed, and you guys can see my face right now. I look exhausted. I was supposed to sleep about 2 hours ago, but I can't sleep. I'm slowly destroying my mental health, and the more I destroy my mental health, that takes an effect on my business, my trading, my personal life, my love life, and family life, every aspect of my life. You guys can even see I'm a mess, and it has actually been taking a toll on me in a very bad way. I'm also fasting, so that also kind of makes the days harder. My sleeping schedule's been up and down, but I can't complain about that. That's not something to complain about. But this is the start. You guys can see me now, and you guys are going to see me in a year, and then 2 years, and 3 years, and I want to showcase this evolvement. So when I do get to that point, people can see the fucking mess that we go through and how hard it actually is to actually elevate yourself to these big levels and big numbers and such a huge battlefield. So see you soon.
That was April 2020. Brings back a lot of memories, a lot of bad ones, I'll tell you that much. You know, at that particular point, I just felt very depressed, very sad, very unfulfilled, didn't feel like myself, lost a lot of confidence for a magnitude of reasons. I just came off one of the biggest trading losses ever. I lost close to 900 grand on a trade publicly. So there was a lot of things going bad, and things just weren't looking pretty. So to answer your question, what did it take to get to this point? A lot, like a lot. There's a lot of low points that I have went through, right? And that's only 4 years ago. When I go behind 6 years ago, 7 years ago, 8 years ago, or when I go back to when I was 18, and 18-year-old Umar didn't know what he wanted to do, what direction he wanted to go in, and just ultimately felt lost. You know, it brings me back to those points of just the sacrifices that have to be made, where I didn't see my friends for many, many years. I didn't go to vacations with people I knew. I just sacrificed going out, enjoying, you know, my time when I'm 19, 20, 21, and so on, just to get good at my craft. And you know, it wasn't easy. There was even a point where I wanted to quit trading. I wanted to just switch career paths. Not because I wasn't doing well, it's just, you know, when you have low points, your first instinct is to quit. Your first instinct is to be like, let me go try something else. And that's happened to me countless times. You know, same thing with feeling depressed, feeling unhappy with my life, feeling lost. And then just overall, all the sacrifices, friendships I lost, and things that I had to give up to come to this point. And, you know, you have to ask yourself sometimes, what is more important to you? The future that you are trying to build, or the current things in your life? And you have to understand, guys, you will have to make sacrifices for the things that you want. I'm a big believer of that. You can have everything you want in life, but just not at the same time. So yeah, it brings me to a place that was very dark in my life. And I would say, I hope no one goes through it, but anyone that's embarking on a journey of getting better, trying to achieve big things, they have went through it, and you will go through that. And the main thing I want you guys to understand is the things that you do see from you know, face value, that's not how things are. There's so much more depth and pain and struggle behind it. So next time you know, kind of see anyone doing well, or you see something that is working well, just understand there's a lot of things that went behind that. I think anything that you can write down as a goal is achievable. Don't let anybody tell you what is not achievable, what is or what isn't achievable. Put it down on paper and just work hard. Work hard, work smart, and play the long-term game, right? Don't try to achieve success in the next 6 months. For me, this is my 10-year mark. I've started when I was 18, I'm currently 28. And I've hit my first decade. I have 4 more decades, maybe 7, 8, I don't know how many more decades to go. But when you play the long-term game, you have a higher chance of succeeding. And you know, when you set out your goals, you have to have something that ignites you. And you you have to know what superpowers to use in your situation. So if you are having something in your life that is not good, you're having people doubting you, you're in a bad financial situation, you are the underdog, remember, that is the best case scenario for you to fuel yourself and drive yourself. My parents worked hard to come to America and give their kids a better life. There is nothing more that can drive me than that. There's not a single time where I'm like, well, I can quit. No, I can't quit. My parents did all of this for me to quit here. This is what they sacrificed for me to quit. That's my driver. So if you have a driver in your life, find it. If people are doubting you, people are saying you're gonna fail, you're not gonna succeed, good, let them say it. Add that to the list of things people said and add that to the list of things you're gonna prove them wrong. And if people say you can't do it, tell them, thank you for igniting me, I appreciate that, and run with that. And just to, leave you guys with one more thing, if you guys have immigrant parents, or parents in general, just realize that they make a lot of sacrifices and they do a lot of things for us that we may not realize. And doing everything possible to make their investment or make their sacrifices worth it should be a priority. Do not be one of those people that is partying, throwing their life away while your parents have worked so hard to put you in a situation to excel. Do not be that person. And if you are that person, stop that right now. Switch up your whole life and make it about, up until you get to that point, I want to and need to retire my parents. Thank you for everything, and use that as a driving force. That being said, I wanted to say thank you to my mom, thank you to my dad. I appreciate everything you guys have done for me. I appreciate everything you have done for my siblings and the family overall. I'm super lucky and proud to be your son. Thank you, and I love you.